What's up? It's your boy SpooZy BreeZy. Got another deck profile update. But before I start, I gotta shout out NLG. NLG TCG. That's where I get all my Yu-Gi-Oh product from. Good content. Make sure you check out the website. They got some good deals going on singles and bulk product and boxes and stuff like that. But without further ado, I'm gonna hop right into the deck profile. It's Psy-Frames. Played it over the weekend at my locals. And, I liked it. I liked some of the changes that I've made. It ran pretty smooth, a little bit better. Still working on a side deck. It's work in progress, but But I'm gonna start off with the deck profile. 3 Psy-Frame driver. If you don't know what Psy-Frames do, you need this Manila to make any sort of play. To even summon them or activate their effects, you need a driver. I kind of wish Konami would give us a different Manila Psy-Frame driver, like a Psy-Frame driver 2, and maybe make it like a level 4 or level 5 or something. Open up more plays, make more synchros. But it's Konami, they gonna do what they want. 3 Psy-Frame Alpha. This is a searcher. When he summon a driver, and add add a Psy-Frame card from your deck to hand. 3 Delta. This is the spell card. This is the spell card negator. Anytime your opponent activates a spell card, you can activate this, negate the spell card, special summon itself and the driver. 3 Gamma. The Psy-Frame engine itself is pretty standard from last. Just made a couple changes to it, added a couple things. But Psy-Frame Gamma, he's an effect. He negates monster effects. Psy-Frame Beta, he's the one who negates attacks and ends the battle phase. So he's like a Valk. He's like a Valk Battle Fade or Swift Scarecrow, but he destroys the attacking monster though. And for one of my changes I made, 3 Galaxy Soldier. I know y'all's probably like, Galaxy Soldier? You can run that in there? Yes, you can run Galaxy Soldier in here. Galaxy Soldier's just basically in here just as a rank 5 engine, so to speak. I had room for it. I didn't really want to run the trap guy. And, I was running in my last build, I had, Car D and, Wind Up Rabbit and, Thunder King Ryo. But they just wasn't, in my opinion, they just wasn't doing enough. That's how I feel like that. I didn't think that they did enough. So I came up with this and, just to simply bust out a Cyber Dragon Infinity. And that's pretty much busted. But you can open up where you can bust it out on your first turn. You can wait, drop it on board when you got a little bit more advantage or whatever. And also you just don't have to use him to make an infinity. He opens up more plays like rank 6s. You can even make 7. You can use him make 7. 7s and 6s is really what I've been using for him. In case of emergencies. But let's get on to the spells. I think that was 18 monsters. I don't know. I'll count them later. But on to the spells. You obviously got 3 of the field spell, Psy-Frame Circuit. Anytime when your Psy-Frame monsters hit the field, you can synchro summon with them. And if your Psy-Frame monster gets attacked, you can discard a Psy-Frame from your hand, and then the monster the attacking Psy-Frame or the Psy-Frame that gets attacked, his attack boost, it gets added to the monster. The monster you discard, his attack gets added onto the monster that's being attacked or you're attacking with. 3 Psy-Frames Field Zone, 3 Psychic Field Zone. This card, I think it is real good in this deck because you're constantly banishing stuff. So it's just real good like that. Synchro from your banished area. I can't name another deck that does that. Well, I mean, any deck that uses psychics and they banish, I mean, it's good in, but Psy-Frames do it the best. Two, emergency teleport. Emergency teleport, is in here not just for offense but for defense as well. And they also get into your level 6 synchros. 3, upstart goblin. It's upstart goblin, goes without saying. 2, synchro miracle fusion. It's draw power. I mean, if your opponent, this card is really good. Works well against bad players. Because players will blind MST this, and then I just get to laughing because I just think it's funny. I don't know why I think it's funny, but when they blind MST it or they use an effect to destroy it, I just think that it's funny, and people will really go out their way to blow up this set card. Oh yeah, shout out to Yoshi because Yoshi is my nigga. But like I said, I just think it's funny when they do something to it to get it off the field. I mean, once it's set, it's set. I mean, I'm not gonna do nothing with it except maybe flip it over and make a synchro play, make a fusion play with it. And for the rest of the spells, 2 MST because I'm tired of Vanity's Emptiness. Vanity's Emptiness. What is it? Mind Drain. A couple other cards just fucking hurt. Them continuous floodgates. Some of them just fucking hurt. And, 1 Raigeki for field removal. I've actually been seeing in my testing, I've been actually thinking about taking this out because some of your opponent's monsters you just really don't want to get rid of. With the effect that it's synergy with some of your psychic synchros. And keeping one on the board is good. But if you just have to remove them, I mean, and you don't want to do anything to your monsters, I mean, Raigeki is a good way to go. But I was been thinking about taking it out and adding something else for it, because anytime I top decked it, I mean, but then again, you shouldn't be top decking in this deck. You should always have at least 2 cards in your hand. But like I said, but when I just top decked it, it came up. It always comes up in the time when I really don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, say your opponent has a monster on board, but you already have that monster taken care of via one of your psychic synchros, and then it's just like, I just drew it for nothing. But anyway, that's it for the spells. Onto the traps. I run 3 Reckless Greed. This is what I was talking about in my last deck profile. I mean, it's good, but it's not good. But it's good, but it's not good. I don't know how to explain it. But it's good because you can draw during your opponent's turn, and sometimes those draws during your opponent's turn is sometimes you'll get into stuff that you actually need to stop your opponent versus the 2-3 cards you already have in your hand. And I just think it's real good too. Like, say if you open up 2 of them and you set them, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, say your opponent goes, they do something, draw. You don't have to chain both of them. You know what I'm saying? They don't stack. Like, say, you skip your draw phase for 2, a turn goes around, you flip another one, boom. It's not 3 turns you skip, it goes back to 2. But, and another thing what I'm saying is that, like, say if you flip one during your opponent's turn, you get what you need to draw. All right, you don't need to do anything. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Use your cards. Do what you do. Like, especially if you have drivers in your deck still, you can use your monster effect, summon your driver, and then, you know what I'm saying, that's 1 card less out of your deck that you don't really want to draw. I mean, you don't really want to draw drivers, but if you have to, having them in your hand, having 1 in your hand, that's okay. Just for a simple fact, it's energy with the field spell. If you have a monster on board and your opponent has a monster on board, you can't really get over. So, I mean, having drivers in your hand are good to a certain extent. And last but not least for the traps is Psychic Overload. Psy-Frame Overload, I mean. What did I say? Psychic? I'm used to saying Psychic. A lot too much Pokemon. But anyway, Psychic Overload. This card's just like, it's busted as fuck. I mean, it banishes your opponent's card. It banishes any card, so you can banish your stuff off of it. It banishes his face down. It's not coming back. unless it, you know what I'm saying, you have an actual card that simply says face down banish cards. I mean, majority of all the cards that hit the banish area, I think they all say face up. So once you banish it, it's not coming back ever, ever. And also, its other effect is when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard and add a Psy-Frame card to your hand except itself. So it'd be pretty busted if it can add itself. And that's it for the traps. It's 40 cards. And now on to the extra deck. I'm gonna start with the Psy-Frame monsters. 2 Psy-Frame Omega. He's real. He's just so fucking good, especially with the combo with the trap. You know, if the trap's banished during your opponent's standby phase, you can return this to the graveyard, and then since, like I said before, I think I said this in my last video, since it's been returned, you can just simply banish it again because it's not being sent, it's being returned. So it's a real good busted play. It helps thin your deck, faster, and gets more searches off. So 2 Omega, 3 Psy-Frame Zeta. I run 3 because I like to abuse him. I like to put one on board and go get another one and go, like, there's been times where I've had all 3 of them on board at one time, and it's like, oh wow. But you know, it banishes itself and a face up attack position monster your opponent controls. So it clears the way for maybe if you have another monster on board to attack with, or you know, something like that. And its other effect is when it gets destroyed. I mean, in my opinion, you really don't need to run 2. I just like using it because it's graveyard effect. It's recyclable. So and I've made crazy outright plays with it in Psychic Field Zone. So like you will return it to the extra deck, and then you will add from your graveyard a Psy-Frame card back to your hand. So you can add your traps back to your hand. You can add your field spells back to your hand. You can add your betas. And you can add any Psy-Frame card from the graveyard back to its hand. So I just think it's real good. 1 Hyper Psychic Blaster. I run this because sometimes, you know, sometimes you have no choice and you have to, you know, you'll have to banish your Omega just to make a ultimate Axon kicker play. So yeah, and I run that in here too, an ultimate Axon kicker play. So, and then just to simply put your Omega back in the graveyard, use its effect again, to recycle it back to the graveyard. It's just real good. Oh yeah, Omega has I forgot to say, Omega has the effect that you can return it to the extra deck and return 1 card in either player's graveyard, shuffle it back into the deck. So with Omega, you can put back you know, the problematic cards that do stuff in the graveyard, like for example traps like Breakthrough Skill, you know, monsters like them fuck ass Yang Zing, them Yin Yangs, and you know, just put cards back that do stuff in the graveyard. 1 HTS. I made this one time, and I just made it just because I could make it, and I made it one time just. I really don't. I mean, it's in here because it gets itself off the board, and it's a psychic, so it's a Psychic Field Zone target. But I mean, there's nothing really you can say. It just, you know, banishes itself in the monster you attacked or the monster that attacked it. I mean, it's real. I mean, it's hit or miss, I guess. 1 Vulcan the Divine. I made this once, and it was, you know, I don't remember what it was. I had to return something for game. But he's pretty good. He comes up a lot. You know, especially if you have a Galaxy Soldier in your hand and an emergency teleport. Yeah, you know, it comes up a lot. It's a real good play, especially if you have a monster or your opponent has a monster that needs returned, or just a problematic card that won't let you use your hand or something. You know, something. Um, One Black Rose. I'm thinking about upping him up to 2, because there was a couple times where I made the first one and then I had to make another one, and I was like, oh, well, and I couldn't make this to do it. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. No, don't run this. This card is good, but in Psy-Frames, this card is trash. Don't run this. I'm gonna be taking this out for Black Rose. I don't know why I took a Black Rose out for this when Black Rose is inherently better. I mean, this card's good. Don't get me wrong, it does stuff to your opponent, but I don't need it to stay on the field. Um, so one fuck's his name? Yang Zing, the evil guy, you know, blow stuff up. One Zura, Angel Zura. You know, like I said in the last video, you can banish it. You can banish it with your Overlord, and it comes right back. This video is getting kind of long. One Ultimate Axon Kicker, and one Cyber Dragon Nova, and one Cyber Dragon Infinity. Like I said, you can Galaxy Soldier Infinity. I mean, it goes without saying. But thank you for watching the video. Like, rate, subscribe, click some ads if you please do. You know, just trying to get money. You know, doing what I do, and you know, leave me comments, suggestions. Like, let me know what you guys think, and I should be having 2 more deck profiles for you later on. My Cleafort deck, and